Hi, I'm LOU Diamond Phillips, and don't go anywhere because Profiles is coming right up.
Welcome to Profiles. I'm Marlie Hall. Today's guest is Hollywood leading man LOU Diamond Phillips. Since gaining attention for his portrayal of Richie Valens in Bamba, Phillips has starred in more than 80 films, including Courage Under Fire, Stand and Deliver, and Young Guns. Along the way, he's developed a reputation as one of the hardest working actors in show business. After a short break, we'll join our host Mickey Burns as he welcomes the talented LOU Diamond Phillips to Profiles. Welcome back to Profiles. Since graduating from college, LOU Diamond Phillips has built quite an impressive resume, not only in acting but also writing, producing, and directing. His latest project is with the SyFy channel and its newest chapter of the popular Stargate Universe series, where Phillips plays the lead character, Colonel Telford. So let's join our host Mickey Burns on location from Ashford and Simpson Sugar Bar in the heart of New York City as he welcomes actor LOU Diamond Phillips to Profiles.
4 other addresses came up in the system, but we seem to be locked out from here.
Well, have you tried working around it?
Dr. Rush didn't think that was a good idea.
I think it makes sense to know what our options are, so do what you can.
There has to be a good reason why these addresses are being disqualified.
If I wasn't being clear, I was giving you an order. If there are good reasons, find out exactly what they are. Let's keep moving. I want to see more.
You should rest.
LOU Diamond Phillips, welcome to our show Profiles.
Thank you, Mickey. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, it's a pleasure spending some time with you today. You are one of the hardest working actors in show business and continue to be so.
Well, yeah, I have 4 children. The weird thing is they eat every day, man. And I can't get past that. I have 4 daughters, so that means there's a lot of clothes. So, Daddy's got to bring home the bacon.
You got to do that. Got to keep doing it. Since your great portrayal of Richie Valens in the classic film Bamba, you've starred in over 50 films.
More like 80 now.
Like 80?
Yeah, if you go to IMDb, and don't believe everything you read, but
right.
yeah, the list goes on, man. It just makes me feel old.
Yeah, but when you reflect on this body of work, which is enormous, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I'm incredibly grateful.
Yeah.
I was just a middle-class kid growing up in Texas, man, with big dreams of, being in films and television, and, caught lightning in a bottle with Bamba, and haven't looked back. I've been employed as an actor, for, well, it's been 23 years since then.
Sure.
And the fact that I'm not only able to do films, but television, theater. I was, here in the city doing The King and I a few years back.
Right.
And, and being able to, write and direct as well. I mean, it really is a dream come true. It's, I actually got a lot of mileage out of my my college degree.
From Texas.
Yes, sir.
You said recently, there's a lot of guys that were around when I made Bamba who aren't as fortunate. You went on to say, and it's not a matter of talent or hard work, it's just the break sometimes. Well said.
Thank you, but it's very true. I mean, there's some actors that, started when I started, and for one reason or another, just sort of fell out of vogue. And it's really, it's a constant struggle to stay relevant, and to build a career and to maintain the level of quality and the level of exposure that you have to,
sure.
In a very, very competitive business,
right.
which is probably why I do theater and TV and film. I mean, I'll go wherever the work takes me.
Has there been a period during your career when you weren't working?
Fortunately for me, I've always worked. I mean, some of the films haven't been as big, as others, but I've always been paid to act or direct or write, and I feel very, very fortunate, and grateful for that. I mean, it's given my family, a lovely life, and that's another struggle altogether. Having 4 daughters and keeping them grounded and not letting them get overwhelmed by the fact that Daddy's famous. So.
Right. Do the 4 daughters and family dictate a lot of what you're doing?
When you have kids, you reprioritize, and I've turned down work, when they were younger, where I couldn't travel as much.
Right.
Fortunately now, my older girls are much more used to me having to be hither, thither, and yon. And my wife Yvonne, and the baby Indigo, they go with me. They're on the set of Stargate, right now.
That's great. And
hanging out.
there are twins.
The Grace and Isabella are twins, and they actually turned 12 on Monday. Lily just turned 10 last week, and Indigo turns 2 on October 9th. And I think what we can gather from that is I only get laid once a year.
But they must be loving being on a set as well.
You know, I did a wonderful film last year called Love Takes Wing that I directed, and it was about an orphanage. So I was able to put all of my children in the film. I mean, nepotism is alive and well. I'm taking a cue from Francis Coppola. And my daughters, first of all, they were the easiest people on the set to direct.
Yeah, sure.
Because then they get in trouble. You know, stand on your mark and deliver your lines.
Right.
But it's in their blood, man. It's a little scary because I would shoot them out at the end of the day, and I said, okay, you guys are wrapped, you can go home. They go, well, can we stay?
They don't want to go home.
No, they love being on set.
That's a good sign. Now, your latest project with the SyFy channel, you mentioned it briefly, is the newest chapter of Stargate Universe, where you play Colonel Telford.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your role in the series.
My guy, Colonel Telford, is he fancies himself to be very heroic. You know, I mean, he's kind of your typical fighter pilot. You know, he's got that cockiness, that arrogance, and obviously a stylish haircut. But I'm supposed to be the leader of the team that goes through the Stargate into territories unknown. Unfortunately, our base, the Icarus base, is attacked by an enemy, and I am separated from the group of people that end up stranded on this ancient spaceship with no way to get home.
Right.
Robert Carlyle, Ming Na, Louis Ferrara.
Great cast.
Wonderful cast. And so it's very much this mission to not only survive but to get home, and the interactions between the military, the politicians, Ming Na's a bureaucrat, the civilians, the scientists that are stuck on board. So it's definitely a sci-fi project, but it's very human because it's about how do you create a new community? How do you depend on one another?
How do you survive?
And how do you survive, exactly? And who can you trust? So it really brings in great questions of character and of dignity and some moral questions as well.
Right. What kind of leader do you hope that Colonel Telford will ultimately be?
Well, Telford fancies himself to be the only person qualified to save these people, and that's his frustration, is that he's separated from the group. He's stuck on Earth, and I have to go back and forth using these ancient communication stones. So I end up in other people's bodies, quite often, which is something we do a lot in Hollywood. But it's his frustration and it's his mission to try and save the day, but he's thwarted oftentimes, and that leads to his frustration. We've got some great twists toward the end of the season, so it's just been a blast.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Now, your role as Colonel Telford will certainly be compared to that of Edward James Olmos from Battlestar Galactica. That was a big hit and a great show. What are your thoughts about those comparisons?
Well, first of all, we have three names and we're ethnic. So I'm Edward James Olmos Light. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, I really think was obviously a huge hit and very critically well received. There are going to be obvious comparisons because what we're trying to do is very human and very much about the drama and about the characters. But it builds upon the mythos of the Stargate itself and goes into all new territories. What's wonderful, and somebody like Eddie brings such dignity and such class to a project, and I'm hoping that you
can do the same.
My presence is in the same vein. And I've said it before. I mean, the cast of Stargate. I mean, we've got the Scotsman, with Robert Carlyle and Ming Na. It's just this amazingly diverse cast. That's a great cross section of what America is now. And I think there's so many characters that people will relate to. You know, we have a very wide age range and a lot of different backgrounds. So once again, I think we're taking something that used to be a niche audience, as far as science fiction goes, and really expanding that into a much more of a mainstream kind of program.
Sure. And of course, Colonel Telford.
Ready for this, Colonel?
You just give the word, sir.
Oh, I gave it quite a while ago, Colonel. I'm just here to see how my $1.6 billion is being spent.
Thank you, everyone.
Dismissed.
Now, with a TV series, you never know what its longevity will be. If this series lasts for you several years, is that a good thing, or would it impede on other projects that you might want to do?
Well, sometimes don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Sure, if it's there, take it.
I mean, no, absolutely, and as we said before, the competition in Hollywood, and I mean, with the economy being, having a steady gig is a very good thing with a family, and it's something that I'm actually craving at this point in my career. I mean, I spend so much of every year traveling, everywhere, be it South Africa or Canada or, South America to work. So being in one spot for a long time, I would really enjoy. Not to mention the fact that this was a love fest from the beginning on this.
Yeah.
The cast is fantastic, and we bonded immediately. A lot of the crew I've worked with before, so I mean, I'm very, very comfortable hanging out.
So it would be a good thing.
It would be a very good thing.